The USS Ohio moves to a landing in San Diego. Still very secret, well guarded. It's dark, and it's massive. It's as long as the Washington Monument is high, nearly the length of 2 football fields. The sail, as it's called, stretches high into the air.
Wow.
And we get to take you on board.
All right, here we go. Come on, let's check this thing out.
We climb down a long, narrow hatch. Once inside, the Ohio, while tight, is surprisingly spacious for a submarine.
On the 4 benches.
We're dropping several hundred feet underwater. So the first order of business is teaching us how to plug into an airline and breathe if something goes wrong.
Take a breath, make sure that it seals and you're getting air properly.
597 fathoms.
We arrive at the command control center,
5-5.
the brain of the sub.
5-6.
This is where the periscope is.
5-7.
It works just like you see in the movies.
Come on, let's go.
And the view looking through it is kind of like using high-tech binoculars at the surface.
So I have full down.
2 young sailors steer the boat and make it dive.
Dive.
All of these men and women
6'2".
volunteer to be here.
6'3".
It's a very elite operation.
Most, if not all, the sailors on board are very exceptional, kind of the cream of the crop, if you will.
And they have to be, because they're in charge of awesome power. These orange tubes were designed to hold 24 ballistic nuclear missiles that would make this sub all by itself one of the top 5 nuclear powers in the world. Think about that. But the Ohio here has been retrofitted to hold non-nuclear guided missiles and other special cargo.
This used to be a ballistic missile tube, would hold a nuclear missile. But now a hatch has been put in here so SEALs can get inside. Why? The SEALs will come inside of this tube. They'll have all of their dive gear on them. This tube will then flood with water, and the SEALs literally will swim out the hatch there, out of the submarine to conduct their operations.
In this Navy video, you can see the SEALs using their own smaller submarine that's riding on the back of the Ohio. That allows them to land virtually anywhere, totally unseen by any enemy.
And they're usually going to go do something, bad things to bad people, right? That's the whole goal.
And the SEALs always want to be ready for action. Their workout equipment is crammed into every spare corner of the Utah. Barbells, cardio machines. You need that kind of distraction, because life on board a submarine like this can be Spartan. They bunk 9 to a room.
Each person gets their own rack. They get their bunk pan to put whatever they can fit in there.
The captain's cabin's a little bit bigger, but still pretty close quarters. How do they get along?
We love and hate each other like brother and sister, and there's days that we're all smiling and laughing, there are days that we're yelling at each other, but at the end of every day, we're professionals.
The Ohio can stay underwater for 3 straight months. She really only needs to surface to get more food on board for her crew. And the kitchen here is always busy. The sailors, they get 4 meals a day. The Ohio makes its own power with a nuclear power plant, makes its own water, and that's not all.
The Ohio actually makes its own air using one of these. This is an oxygen generator. They name them. This one's named Claudia. And what they do is they pull seawater out from the ocean, put electricity through it, and that separates the oxygen away from the hydrogen out of the water, and that's what they breathe.
In addition to her missiles and SEALs, the Ohio has torpedoes on board. They even let us fire an empty torpedo tube.
In 3, 2, 1.
In what may have been the most intense part of our tour, the captain put the Ohio through a drill, demonstrating how fast she can dive and climb.
2-5 up.
Look at how we're leaning here,
1-5.
because the Ohio's at such an extreme pitch.
Control bridge, conduct watch.
We surface and head back into port. What a ride. And what pride we all have to see the men and women serving on the USS Ohio.
I've been doing this for 24 years. I wouldn't be here if I didn't enjoy it. And really because I watch young sailors come on board the first time, and they grow and mature to be a very seasoned submariner. I take great pride in watching that happen.
Bearing 296.